when I stand on the rooftop of my hotel in Chennai at night, I feel like I am watching the city come alive in a different way. The day's noise fades slowly and a calm silence spreads across the sky. The warm evening air turns cooler and a gentle breeze touches my face. From up here, I can see the city stretching far into the distance, covered in a blanket of twinkling lights. The streets below glow with the yellow and white lights of cars and street lamps. Buildings shine in different colors, and the reflections dance on the windows. Far away, I can see the lights along the coast, reminding me that the sea is not too far. The sound of the traffic mixes with the faint music and voices from nearby restaurants and cafes. It feels peaceful yet full of life. The night sky above is deep and dark, with a few stars peeking through the thin clouds. The moonlight adds a soft glow to the city, making everything look calm and beautiful. Sometimes, a distant horn or the hum of a city breaks the silence, but it only adds to the charm of the night. Standing there, I feel relaxed and thoughtful. Chennai at night has its own rhythm, gentle, glowing and full of quiet energy. From my rooftop, it feels like I am watching the heart of the city beat under a sky full of dreams. This is a demo of robotic surgery. The system uses robotic arms controlled by the surgeon through a console. It provides high precision, smaller incisions, and faster recovery for patients. The robot follows the surgeon's exact hand movements but with greater accuracy and stability. This technology helps perform complex procedures with minimal invasiveness and excellent outcomes. Today, I visited Marina Beach in Chennai, one of the longest beaches in India. The moment I reached, I could feel the sea breeze on my face and hear the powerful sound of waves crashing against the shore. The beach stretches endlessly on both sides, giving a feeling of space and freedom. As I walked closer to the water, I noticed how wide the beach is. It takes quite some time to walk from the main road to the shoreline. There were families, friends and children playing, flying kites and enjoying the evening. Street vendors were selling snacks, roasted corn and ice creams, adding color and life to the atmosphere. However, in some parts, I noticed a slight stinky smell, probably from seaweed or waste left behind by visitors. It's a bit unpleasant, but once you move closer to the waves or a cleaner area, the fresh sea breeze takes over again. Despite that, the overall experience was worth it. The sunset over the Bay of Bengal was beautiful. The orange sky reflecting on the waves made the view truly peaceful. Watching the fishermen's boats in the distance and the city lights starting to glow behind me was magical. Marina Beach is definitely a place worth visiting if you're in Chennai. It's lively, full of local culture, and gives you a real taste of the city's coastal charm, a mix of noise, beauty, and life by the sea. Today, I'm exploring one of the most historic places in Chennai, the Fort Museum, located inside Fort St. George. This is actually one of the oldest British forts in India, built way back in 1644 by the East India Company. It's not just a museum, it's a piece of history standing right in the heart of Chennai. The Fort Museum is housed in a beautiful old colonial building with tall pillars, wide staircases, and high ceilings. The moment you walk in, you can feel the history around you. It's calm, quiet, and filled with stories from the British era. The museum has 3 floors filled with rare collections. On the ground floor, you'll find old coins, medals, weapons, and uniforms used by British soldiers. Some of the rifles and swords date back hundreds of years. There are also displays of letters, maps, and official records, giving us a glimpse of how the British ruled from here. The first floor has beautiful portraits of British governors and officers, along with antique furniture, silverware, and glassware used during the colonial period. One of the most interesting things here is the chair and table used by Robert Clive, who played a major role in establishing British rule in India. The top floor displays the flags, uniforms, and emblems of various British regiments, and even some personal items belonging to historical figures. The museum also preserves documents signed by British officials, which really takes you back in time. What I love most about this place is how well it preserves the blend of Indian and British history. You can actually imagine how Chennai looked centuries ago when it was called Madras. The architecture, the atmosphere, everything here speaks of the colonial past. Outside the museum, you can walk around Fort St. George itself. You'll find St. Mary's Church, which is the oldest Anglican church in India, and several government offices that still function today. The view from the fort walls gives you a nice look at the city and the sea. So if you love history, architecture, or just want to explore something different in Chennai, the Fort Museum is definitely worth visiting. It's quiet, informative, and gives you a real connection to the city's colonial past.
โดนเลยพวกหักหมาไหมพอรู้ที่มีโมเลอ่ะน้ำtop to ba dor zong ba ki mu zo khong e easy buy ba lu thi mi mo le Where is kids section? Kids section. Second floor. Lift. Where is the lift? Thank you.